What's up, everyone? It is Mike, your host of the Area Tech Podcast. It's been a minute, the first podcast, unfortunately, since my grandmother passed away. So, unfortunately, still dealing with that, but nonetheless, excited for Shawn coming on, the host of Tough Titties Podcast. Get to learn about that podcast. I'm actually curious on how that even came about. And first things first, listen to us on all major podcast platforms. But without further ado, introducing the host of the Tough Titties Podcast, Shawn. Shawn, welcome aboard and glad to have you.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Glad to have you. Of course, your content is quite entertaining on my end. I enjoy it. Keep doing what you're doing. And
Thank you.
first things first, if it's not too personal, how in the world did you come up with the name of your podcast?
So basically it came from my mom used to say that to me when I was a kid.
Nice.
And like when I was being like a little brat or whatever, and she would be like, tough titties, like, you can't get everything you want type of thing. And I obviously didn't know what titties were. So
Right.
I went back to school and I said it to another kid in my class and I got in trouble for it. They were like, what? The teacher was like, what the fuck?
Right.
So I got put in timeout for that, but really it was all my mom's fault because she taught it to me. So yeah, that's kind of where I got it from, but I think it's fitting.
I like it. Of course, your podcast is all about, not all about, but of course it's dating, relationships, and sex. And
yeah,
I know nowadays, with society, with COVID and what have you, kind of want to pick your brain, and maybe it's stuff that you've maybe mentioned on your podcast, but when it comes from a woman's standpoint, at least, and when it came to COVID, of course, a lot of things were shut down, what have you. Has anything differently, maybe from your standpoint? I mean, I can't speak for the whole United States of America and beyond, but from your personal standpoint, anything different when it came to dating or what have you, especially during COVID? Of course, you can't go anywhere, and do you get a lot of those setups, or kind of obviously don't walk us through your whole, I'm sure, heartbreak at times, but kind of from your standpoint, has it really changed the dating scene since COVID, or really is just unfortunately same old, same old?
I think while we were in COVID, I think it was a little different because people were lonely.
Right.
And I think people were craving some sort of connection or talking to somebody at least. But I think now that we're kind of back to somewhat normal, I think it's back to all the same shit that it used to be. Yeah.
The playing the games and the catfishing and all that fun stuff, so to speak.
Well, the catfishing definitely was still a thing during COVID. It probably got worse. But yeah, but that's my favorite TV show. Actually, I freaking love that show.
I do too, and I feel bad for some of them. And but I enjoy it.
It's amazing. It's the best. So if you don't watch it, you should, because it's so good.
I remember when MTV, growing up, Carson Daly was on, and with the top 25 or whatever crap it was back then. But MTV, I think that's my main show now is Catfish. I enjoy it. I mean, I feel bad for the ones that actually are getting catfished, but some of them are kind of funny. Not that I condone it, but
no, it never catfish, but it is fucking funny to watch. But also keep doing it, otherwise there wouldn't be a show.
And what's funny is that's why they keep doing it, because people are continuing to doing it. I think
it's not stopping.
Well, it's so easy to get a hold of people's pictures on social media, and I've never been catfished, nor have I had my pictures stolen, but not for sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But
I want my pictures stolen. I feel like it would be like a compliment. Like, wow, she's pretty. I want to pretend that I'm her,
I could see that. I think that's a fair point.
Like, you never see the pictures that they're catfishing with. Like, the person's never ugly.
Touche.
So?
Touche.
There you go.
I do see that. So I guess it'd be a compliment if your pictures are stolen from social media. Depends.
Yeah.
Not that I'm going to do it. But no, I've seen people like on Facebook, before I got banned. Um, yeah, never say throat punched on Facebook. Don't ever say throat punch.
Is that how you got banned?
Yeah.
It's okay. We are banned from something, I feel like.
I did listen to one. Speaking of banned, I did listen to one of your episodes and banned from Bumble. Of course, I'm not
And
very familiar
Tinder.
with that platform, but Tinder, of course, we all know.
I'm
At least
banned
if you
from
don't know of
both.
Tinder, how in the world? And obviously, you don't have to go the whole 9 yards, but
Yeah.
how did you get banned? If you don't mind me asking.
So Tinder was like, I was in college. I actually had a boyfriend at the time.
Right.
And I think there was like some article or something about this girl who was like making money off of guys from Tinder. And I was broke. So I was like, let me try it. And my boyfriend said that I could. So I did.
Right.
And basically, I put like in my bio, I think it was like Venmo me $5 and see what happens with my Venmo.
Oh,
And then people were sending me money, and then I wouldn't send them like nudes. Probably that's what they thought, that I was going to send them. And then I think when they realized that I wasn't, they reported me. So after a bit, I got banned from it. And then Bumble, I think I like tried to like fight with them about it, because I was like, I literally did not do anything wrong. But Bumble is very strict. And I think the problem was like people were asking me, like guys were asking me like about my podcast and stuff, and I would send them the link, and you're not allowed to send links. And that's how I got banned from that. So yeah, my only hope is Hinge right now, I guess. And like regular dating, but I don't know how to do that.
I know you mentioned it in the episode, and unfortunately, I guess maybe it's happened already. Can you? How do they track you, knowing that you are that same person that's trying to make it quote unquote, technically in reality is a second account?
I think because on Bumble, when you first make an account, they have you like take a picture of yourself to verify you that you're like a real person, or like you're the same person that is in the pictures. Gotcha. But I think they also use it to scan faces, basically, to like, like they figured out that I was the same person, even though I was using somebody else's phone number. Like that's the only thing I can think of. It's my stupid face.
You could have dyed it, maybe dyed your hair.
I spent too much money on my hair. I don't know. I think like when I moved to a new city, I already have a plan. When I move to a new city, I'm going to like make a whole new Facebook account with a new email address and everything, and use pictures that I've never used before on Bumble. And hopefully it works, because I don't know how else I'm going to find a boyfriend or like friends if I move to a new city.
Fair enough. No, I see that.
So we'll see. I'll let you know.
I'll be keeping an eye on the on those posts that you hopefully that all works out.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Speaking of social media, of course, a lot of people, and it's not really so much of a topic, but now we mention being banned or stuff that being spammed or what have you. Some people literally take social media seriously, and me making jokes about being throat punching somebody. I had no intentions of literally throat punching this individual, but that's perfectly fine.
Okay.
When it comes to social media and people, negative is what I'm headed toward. You get negative comments, whether about your podcast, just you in general, because I know social media can be pretty harsh. How do you handle negativity when it comes to people, random people, or even people that you may know, just talk shit about your podcast, what have you?
I don't really think the people that I don't know bother me that much. Like I don't really get trolls that much about my podcast, but I get them like when I go viral on TikTok. Nice. They'll say like some mean shit, they're like, you're ugly. Like, why are you talking? And I'm like, okay, you literally don't even have a fucking picture on your thing, so you're probably fucking ugly, you know? So it's just like, it doesn't really bother me that much. But I think judgment from people that I thought were like my friends or stuff like that, that's what bothers me more.
I could see, negativity. I think a lot of people, especially when it comes to social media, I think because we leave it behind the scene to where I can literally, like in that aspect, TikTok don't even have to have a profile picture. Probably, who knows who it might be? Probably a 90-year-old guy. I don't really know, but it's sad that we got to get. But a lot of people take negativity. That's what kind of lead to is mental health. And
Yeah.
I heard a little bit about. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't hear a lot, but I know you're a big on mental health. And
Yeah.
with COVID, and I know I brought it up previously. I've been on shows previously talked about it. Of course, the isolation stuff. Have you, from your aspect, personal aspect, when it comes to mental health, and kind of tell us, even briefly, just simple stuff, how it affected you, even growing up, or even today, however long you've been dealing with it, and how did COVID playing a role so much in isolation kind of affect that? Because being
Yeah.
banned from large groups, so on and so forth.
I think that COVID made me way more of a hermit. Like,
Gotcha.
people think that I'm very like outgoing and extroverted and shit, but like I do not leave my house. Like, I do when I have to, but like if people want to go out and like party, no, I am not doing that. That is not my thing. And like we just got so used to being at home that like this is just where I'd rather be at this point, which I guess is fine, but it's hard for me. And like I've talked about this with my therapist too, is like I'm 24 years old. Like
Right.
the majority of the people my age wanted to go do that stuff and party and drink, and like I do not enjoy drinking, which is like, I feel it's kind of rare for a 24-year-old to not enjoy that. And like partying and doing drugs or whatever these people are doing these days. So it's hard to like almost make friends at this point in my life, because like when I was in school and everything, I was really good at making friends because I was like forced to be in an environment with other people.
Right.
And I mean, I have a stunning personality, so it just happened. But now, like, I'm not in school and I don't like have an in-office job anymore, so I literally don't have anywhere to go. So I mean, she like wants me to go like be social and like network, and I'm like, oh, that's gonna be a problem for me. Because the biggest issue for me is like, I think once I'm there, I'd be good, but getting myself to get dressed and like
Right.
leave my house would be the biggest issue. But yeah, I mean, I have been in therapy on and off for like a while now. I've had 3 therapists in my whole life. And yeah, I think it's very beneficial for everyone. Also, I think girls think that guys that are in therapy are hot. So I'll just put that out there.
Hey, fair enough. Can't speak on that one, but I'm sure the ladies that will be listening, they'll be 100%
They'll agree
be
with
agreeing
me.
with you. I will. I'll definitely agree with that. And of course, I enjoy your personality on the podcast. Of course, I enjoy it right now. What in the world made you start a podcast, if you don't mind me asking?
The idea started while I was still in college. My senior year of college, I was studying abroad, you could say, in Los Angeles.
Right.
But my school was in Syracuse, New York. So I went out to Los Angeles for like my major, which was television and film, because that's like where all the stuff is for that.
Oh yeah.
And I was like fresh out of a breakup, and I went to LA, and I was like, I'm just gonna be a whore. And that's kind of what happened. Like, I just started going on a lot of dates and stuff, and then I would come back to the friends that I made while I was there, and half of them were in relationships and the other half like just wasn't dating like I was. And so I would come back and they'd be so excited to like hear whatever shit went down.
Right.
And for some reason, I always have like really weird experiences. And I don't know if like I track that or like I think it's a me problem, but I don't want to say that it's a me problem. Like I don't want to admit that, you know? And so I had some like weird stuff go down and they always thought it was so funny. And one of them was like, you should have a podcast. And I was like, okay. Like I would think about it, but then I was like, oh, I'm still in school, you know, like I don't have time for that really. And then when I got back to campus, I brought it up to one of my professors and he was like, oh my God, yes, you'd be so good. And then I was like, okay, that's another person who says that it would be a good idea. And then I never really like did anything with it until COVID in January 2021. Because I was like, you know, freshly graduated and I was not getting any job leads at that time because everyone was getting laid off in the entertainment industry. And so I was kind of like, I need to do something at this point because I was kind of waiting for COVID to like stop because at that point we weren't really like sure what was going on, you know, like how long it would last. So I was like, I'll just wait it out. But then it started taking a really long time. And so I was like, all right, this is the project that I'm going to do. And then I had all the time in the world, obviously, because I didn't have a job and I was living at home and I was just like, all right. And that's how I started it. And then now I'm here with you.
Well, I know, you know, I'm sure, dang it, my allergies. I'm sure that, I know that your fan base enjoys it. I think I enjoy listening to your podcast, even if it has nothing to do with guys from a guy's standpoint of view. I'm like,
hey, no. I've had a men's dating coach on there. Don't even
I'll have to
worry.
listen to that one.
Yeah. I try to speak for all people, but you know, I obviously have better.
Of course.
I'm a girl, so I know that better than I know guys.
I think I like that from that standpoint because even from a guy's standpoint, I don't know how many guys listen to it, but that really, obviously at the end of the day doesn't really matter. But I think from even if you listen as a guy from a woman's standpoint, at least you get kind of, you know, I'm thinking where, you know, okay, well that's where maybe not all women think that, but hey, you know, at least we know, okay, they're from thinking of this standpoint of view instead of X, Y, and Z. So no, I like that from a perspective. It kind of broadens everybody's, you know, mindset, so to speak.
Yeah, it's also cool, not to like toot my own horn, but I don't have a lot of solo episodes. I do once in a while just like update people on my life, but majority of my episodes I have like an expert from the field come in, so they're kind of talking in like male female perspectives with their clients, whether it be like a sex therapist, whether it be a kink educator, whether it be a breakup coach. Like they're talking in ways that can relate to all people. So, you know, I mean, the men can listen if they want. They should.
They'll learn. Exactly. Yeah, you're missing out. If you're not listening, I highly recommend subscribing to any podcast platform, Apple or Spotify, and give it a listen.
Subscribe, leave a review. I'll be honest though, I've been slacking for the last few months, and I haven't. Because I've been mentally ill. Okay, so that's a good enough reason. And I took a break, but I think I'm gonna come back like once I get my shit together. I'm working on it. I'll be back soon. But you have like over 50 episodes to catch up on. So
sweet. Well, I got 2 knocked out.
You got 2 knocked out? Which ones did you listen to? Do you remember?
Jesus, now you got to put me on the spot.
I have the best titles. How do you not remember?
Because the one was solo, Depressed and Horny.
That one. Perfect. Yep, Depressed and Horny. That's a good one. I just talked about how I'm depressed and horny.
Oh, we're about to turn that one on. I should know this one. Sex Fantasy.
Sex Fantasy with Nadej.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that one's cool. She's a sex scholar. See? Everyone has fantasies. All the boys can listen.
Who doesn't have a fantasy, though? Somebody's
Nobody.
got to.
Unless you're like asexual, then.
True.
Yeah. But.
Speaking of, I know you mentioned. Speaking of, dating, and you mentioned that during the time out there you were dating quite a bit. Even with your personal expectations, but even from a woman's standpoint, doesn't you take it both ways. However, is perfectly good with me. Is what should expectations be for women when it comes to dating?
Don't have any.
I like that.
It's really sad that we should not have any, but like being constantly disappointed in people is not a fun feeling. So try your best not to have any, but like we all do, like
Right.
it's hard not to actually have no expectations. And coming from the queen of someone who literally has all the expectations. So it's just something that we all need to work on. And I also think it's hard. I feel like guys should not take that advice, though. I think that's more for girls who are dating men or guys who are dating men. Anyone who's dating men, have no expectations. If you're dating women, put in some work is my advice for that.
I like that.
People are fucking lazy. It's annoying.
And random, I don't know why my Adobe Lightroom Classic is coming on. That's really random, and I don't know why. Alrighty. Anyway, that's gonna be kind of semi-edited out, but no, I think that's going back to that. I think that's probably the best advice anybody can give, because I think a lot of times, oftentimes and not, we go into a relationship or a marriage or whatever the case
Literally
may
a
be.
first date.
Yeah, even the first date. I hope the first date, I hope she gives it up, or I hope he does X, Y, and Z, or hope from a guy's standpoint, I hope maybe she'll kiss on the first date, sex on the first date, whatever the court.
Yeah.
I think then we get disappointed, and then we get back to the house. We go on social media. This fucking suck. Blah 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 blah. Or you text the person. Why didn't you do X? Whatever it was that this person wanted. And I think oftentimes and not, I think that kind of screws us over more than our expectations are unrealistic at that time.
Yeah. I also have another big piece of advice for men that they won't take, but I'm going to just say it because this is like my pet peeve and it's so fucked up, but so many guys do it, is when you get rejected by a girl, don't be an asshole. I mean, unless she's being like really mean, then you can be an asshole. Like, that's fine. But like if she was like, no, sorry, like like she's trying to be kind, but she's like not about it.
Right.
Like, why be like, well, you're fucking ugly anyway? Like, then why are you hitting on me? Like it's just so fucked up, and it's mean. Like I've had guys be so mean when they like don't get their way, and I'm like, that's literally disgusting. You're like a grown-ass man. I went to the beach to see like the big full moon that we had a few weeks ago with this guy. And I told him, like, I know it's dark out, so you're going to think that we're going to have sex out here, but let me just tell you that's not going to happen. Like, I told him this was not a thing. And like he was just like so handsy, like grabbing my hand to touch his dick. And like I was like, can we not? I literally just met you. And if I came into this telling him like I was down, then that's one thing. But I literally told you that's not what was gonna happen. And then he was like putting his head under my shirt. He bit my boob and left a mark. And I was like, okay, we're done. I'm done. I'm leaving. And he was like, and he like got so fucking mad and was like, you don't even look like your pictures. You're such a liar. Like saying I was like basically catfishing him. And I'm like, really? That's why your head was under my shirt, right? Because that makes sense. It's just like, let's not do that. This is my piece of advice. Just don't be an asshole, because karma is going to bite you right in the booty. Yes. And I hope it does really fucking hard, because that's fucked up. I'm over it. Really. And I'm from Florida, so all the guys here are fucking assholes and do that shit. It's so annoying.
I personally never been to Florida, but
Don't.
you know,
You're not missing
I got
much.
a few friends down there. I know. Hopefully, to catch up one days, but gas prices are limiting that right now.
I hear ya.
So,
Another reason not to leave the house.
amen to that one. Even my 22 Kia's out there suffering, and it's a small tank.
Hmm.
But I shouldn't say I like, because obviously I don't condone literally forcing yourself to do like the gentleman did to you. And I shouldn't say put the blame on somebody, because I hate putting that way. Is Hollywood, so to speak, kind of the way that, how should I ask this? Because it kind of goes either way. But when it comes to kind of forcing yourself upon women or high expectations or in that aspect, is there anyone to blame? Like, it's like a lot of people blame Hollywood. Let's just put it out there. A lot of people blame Hollywood. It's the movie videos. It's the movies that's out there that's promoting it X, Y, and Z. Is there
Hmm.
anything that really helps? Well, the TV says it's okay, so I'm going to say it's okay. Is there, can we blame, let's say, just Hollywood entertainment in that matter to for things like that happening, or is this just
Uh,
our stupidity at that point?
I think it's a mix of a lot of things. I think Hollywood perpetuated it, but I don't think that's where it started from.
Right,
I think like a lot of the issue is this is how like men were raised, is like women are prey and they're the predator.
right.
Like sometimes you hear, I mean, I don't know if like your listeners like listen to the shit that I listen to, but they like men will refer to women as like a gazelle and they're a lion,
Hmm.
like that sort of thinking. And I think that's kind of where it stems from, like from a long, long, long time ago. Um, Women were not thought of to be sexual beings.
Right.
It was just men, so they had to force themselves onto women because they didn't want it. But like, men, they want to reproduce and they want to
Hmm.
come and blah blah blah. So a lot of it was like not consensual and it was very rapey. And you know people are being raised by those people, and then it's kind of like progressed into like where we are now. And I think there's like, this is a very big topic, but I think men need to start being more self-aware, and being more empathetic, and go to therapy, because I think you will learn. And also, like, would you want somebody doing that to your fucking mother or your
Exactly.
sister?
Yeah.
Like, they don't think, like, I say they as if, like, you're not included. Like,
Or
men,
even a daughter. I
like,
mean,
yeah, like, you would never want that for them, And it's like, why are you doing that to somebody
hmm
else's daughter or somebody else's sister? Like, it's fucked up. Like, I told my therapist about that guy at the beach, and she was like, he like literally assaulted you.
oh,
And I
absolutely.
was like, haha, like, I just have to brush it off that way and think it's funny, like later, just so I can like move on with my life. But that's no way to fucking live. So I think men need to start like taking responsibility for their actions and like knowing better. Like, you have no right to anybody's body. Um, and ask for consent. And a girl says no, that means no. Like, don't keep trying. And then for women, it's hard because I think a lot of us are scared to say no. And like fear for our lives.
Hmm.
Or like getting
It's
the
right.
repercussions of, well, you're fucking ugly anyway, fuck you, you're a bitch. Like, sometimes, like, I even said this to my therapist too, like sometimes it's just easier to be like, okay, like, let's just get it over with than
Hmm.
trying to fight with you. Like, that is so fucked up, and I'm trying to leave that mentality behind, but it's really hard because like, obviously my parents didn't raise me that way. I think society does. So it's definitely hard to express that because we're scared.
And I think it's sad, but it's true. And you know, obviously, I'm not no perfect well being by any means.
Mm-hmm.
Grew up a pastor's kid, but if you would have looked at my life now, you couldn't tell that. But Not knocking the rest of the pastor's kids. I'm just saying.
No, I
His,
think religious people are usually fucked up.
don't get me going on that one.
Okay.
But are you Catholic?
No, I'm Jewish.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say if you're Catholic, yeah, I'm gonna
No, I think
have some issues.
religion is fucked up. So anyway, continue
there's
what you're saying.
there's too many. But no, I think it's one of those that I think society and it really brings me more back towards like athletes, for example. You see a
Hmm.
lot of athletes, and I know Jamie is one that the co-host, and she's been having a lot of personal problems this year, so it hasn't really came on. But and of course she was wanting to come on tonight, but she's up in Wisconsin. But I think that you got I think like especially from an athletic standpoint, Deshaun Watson 26, it becomes a normal is what I'm getting at. It becomes a normal,
Yeah.
athletes assaulting. Oh, it's a slap on the hand. And to me, I
Yeah.
think that's at the end of the day, it's Dan and I talked about it quite a bit on his show, and vice versa. Is what's the drawing line? We have people gambling, and peripherally athletes gambling. They're suspended for a year. They have sexually assault someone, rape someone, domestic violence against a woman.
Yeah.
Oh, slap on the hand. We're going to suspend you
No.
5 games at very best. I think that unfortunately, and I think you nailed it, I think society, especially we can't let whatever athlete, LeBron James, LeBron has nothing to do with it, but let's just say LeBron, that's just
Hmm.
because I like him. LeBron James, he did whatever. We're allowing it, and I think it becomes a norm to. I think, like you said, I think women at that point says, we're just going to take, no pun intended, literally take it all, and just hopefully move on and not pray they don't mess up in our minds or whatever. It's sad and it needs to be out, it needs to be brought up more, but
I think
sports
another
is too much
thing
money.
is like call your friends out. Like if your guy friend is being a disgusting
Yep.
animal towards a woman, don't just watch and let that happen. Like you need to step in or like have a conversation with them. Or like I know see, I feel like guy friend groups aren't going to sit down and be like, "Okay, how do we make women feel comfortable?"
Right.
But like they should, because one, girls are gonna like them a lot better if they're actually like a decent
Hmm.
woman. So I don't know why they wouldn't. But I just feel like a lot of guys turn a blind eye when
Yep.
they know that their friend is doing something shitty. And like that needs to stop as well.
Nobody wants to be a man. Let's just put it that way.
I'll be a man. I have the name. I can do it.
I did have one question for you.
Yeah.
It's brought to you by a good friend of mine who's all the way from Maine.
All the
His
way
question,
from Maine.
all the way from Maine, and he doesn't want to give his city out, and that's fine because there's not many
That's
people in
fine.
Maine. I'm like, okay, cool. He says, he says, I'll be listening to the show here soon. Okay,
Hmm.
okay, here we go. I'm like, okay, where would we start here? I am currently seeing a woman. She is 10 years younger than I am, but my
Uh-huh.
friends are making fun of me because she seems to be more not into me, but into what I do for a living, which she's a doctor.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah. And so he goes on. So, question, blah, blah, blah. So, question is, should I continue to listen to my good friends or continue to pursue someone, even though I'm starting to think she's just there for the money? I just told him,
Damn.
I said, well, that sucks. Not a
Yeah,
good
that
response from me,
does.
but
Okay. Well, one, I feel like are his friends just like making a lighthearted joke, or is there a kernel of truth there, or are they like actually expressing concerns? That's the number one thing you should probably figure out, or like pull one of them and ask, like, do you really think Becky is just with me for my money? And like see what they say, because sometimes when you're really into someone, like you don't see, like you're blinded by the
yep,
love, so you
exactly.
don't see the shitty stuff that all of your friends see, like while you're like in love, so that's something you should definitely talk to your friend about, one of them. You don't have to have a conversation with the whole group. And then I mean, I think in your gut if she actually is interested in you or if she just likes your money. So for example, like when you guys are together, is she only talking about like what nice restaurant you're going to, or like if you're going to buy her something, or stuff of status? Or are you actually having deep and meaningful conversations? Does she want to touch you, or does it seem like she's squirming when you go to touch her? You know, like, you know, in your heart, I think if she actually likes you or not. And if it's not, bye. Find another girl that you can find a girl 10 years younger than you who actually likes you. The money's just a plus.
Yeah.
Not just for the money, you know? I'll date you. I like older guys. How old
There you
is
go,
he?
Derek.
How old
She'll
is he?
get you. He's 47.
Perfect. That's a little older than what...
Sorry, Derek. Maybe not.
I don't know. The oldest I've gone is like 20 years older than me. So that's 44. So like I might have to make an exception, but we'll see.
Sorry, Derek. You've been
Sorry,
declined.
Derek. Unless you're really hot.
He has a dad bod.
Well, that doesn't mean anything.
He just, you know.
Does he have a good face? That's a long pause, so sorry, Derek.
Well, you're talking about it. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull this up with. Hopefully it's a good screen.
Well, no, I'm scared because if I think he's ugly, like this.
Well, see, you're asking, you know, it's kind of. Here we go.
I'm just gonna say he's hot no matter what. Because now I'm scared. I don't want to hurt his feelings.
Well, he texted me on my personal phone, so now I gotta find, because he don't use his personal name on his Twitter, which is a fucking thing. What are you doing?
I think it's too hard to find it on purpose.
It is, and especially now because it wants me to edit literally this whole long pauseness of nothing. I'll find it later, I'm sure.
Okay, you can email it to me.
Yeah, we'll go, unless he just literally tweeted just that's Joshua, that's Joseph. Yeah, I'll find it for you and let you know.
Okay.
But next question. Now this one is from Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not looking for nobody, so I can't show you his face.
Okay.
From Tyler. Currently, from a woman's standpoint, I feel like I'm doing too much. When should I address this with my ex? Laura, I'm sorry, Tyler. With my current girlfriend.
Okay, you could have given me a little more detail.
That's how he asked it.
Fucking Tyler. Can you ask the question again?
He feels like he's doing too much in the relationship, whatever that means. When should I start confronting my girlfriend about it?
Well, I think if you're feeling it, you should say something. I don't think like that's part of being in a relationship, right? Is like being able to share those things. So go up to her, whatever the fuck this means.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I don't know.
And say, you know, listen, I think I'm putting more into this relationship than you are. Is there like a way for you to, you know, show up more for me? And maybe tell her, maybe she doesn't know like what you need, you know, and you need to sit down and have that conversation with her because we are not mind readers and neither are you. So sit down, have a conversation about it and, you know, kind of tell her what you mean because I don't really know what you mean.
I don't either. And so sorry, Tyler. I
tried with what I was working with. I don't know. I did my best.
Last one before we continue with the pod and then more later on is from Dustin.
Mm-hmm.
This is a weird one. But whatever.
Oh, God. I'm excited.
It's interesting, I guess. Never heard of this one. He says, kind of leads into the next one, so I'm glad I picked this one last. He says that currently we're doing basic sexual stuff, but she's wanting to try new things, but stuff that I would say probably not to my expertise. However, should I continue? Should we?
Can you read?
Where is he? Okay, here's how he words it.
Okay.
He's all in caps. Okay. So, long story short, him and his girlfriend are sexually happy, obviously. They're pretty much doing basic stuff. She's
Mhm.
wanting to explore more on him. He
Mhm.
doesn't feel comfortable and feels like that stuff shouldn't be done to guys using
Butt
toys.
stuff.
Yeah, using toys for guys. And he says, should I continue to pursue it with her, or should I step up and quote unquote be a man and tell her no? Because the
I
way he
think
worded it was, "We tried toys. I don't know if I should like that." So I'm pretty much going to paraphrase what he's trying to get
yeah.
out there.
I'm assuming he's talking about toys on him.
Yeah,
I mean, if he tried it and he didn't like it, leave it for a bit. Like, I wouldn't put pressure on it. And if you're having good sex right now anyway, like, I
don't
think
ruin
it's
it.
fine. But if she's bored, um, I would suggest try exploring different things that aren't your booty hole. So like be like, oh, maybe we could role play. Maybe we could get a new toy for you. Maybe I can, I don't fucking know, like other sexual
Right.
things on her that leaves your booty hole alone. Or like maybe she could blindfold you and you say, okay, you can do whatever you want to me, just like no butt stuff today, and then come back to that once you get more comfortable with each other, because I think one, he's not that comfortable yet,
No,
and two,
no.
I think a lot of it is because like having stuff near your butt as a man is supposedly gay. And I think that he's having an internal battle with that. I would read up on that. What's his name? Tyler?
Dustin.
Destin? I'd read up on male butt stuff because it's actually like a lot of guys like it and they're very straight. But your prostate is in your butt. And so
Mm-hmm.
you can get a really killer orgasm with that. But I also understand if you're not ready to do that, don't force yourself to. But tell her, like, these are the things we can try instead. And let's talk about this again in a few months and see where I am and go from there. That's
There
my
you go,
advice
Dustin.
for you, Dustin. Love you.
Never met the guy, but
That's okay.
appreciate the question, dude. It's pretty cool. Speaking of porn,
Mhm.
when it comes to relationships, could porn, I'll put it that way, could porn be bad for relationships?
Yeah. I think the one of the only ways I can think of right now where it could be bad is if one of the partners is like getting off with porn and not doing anything with their partner.
Right.
Like they're just fully relying on porn and it's like neglecting their partner. I think it could be an issue. But like I don't see it as cheating or anything like that.
No.
Some people do, but I don't.
It's one of those, I guess, depends on how you view it. Because a lot of people, I guess, could say, well, it's not I don't know. See, that's one of those things. Because theoretically, though, is it a really bad thing to say, though? It sounds really bad what I'm about to say.
Just say it.
I could see where people would get off on porn, especially if you're not getting the attention. But
Yeah,
it
but
sounds
isn't
really,
that everybody?
well, apparently not whoever that guy's name was, Dustin. Uh, I don't know, probably. But I'm sure, I also know people personally that they just do missionary, though, too. That's all they do.
Well, if it's not broken, don't fix it. But that would be really rough for me.
I'll be at deuces, but
Okay. Okay, continue. What's next?
OnlyFans. We see a lot of
Love.
people starting to be OnlyFans.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, majority of women, but I'm sure there's guys out there that do it too.
There's a really hot guy that I follow who has one, and I'm like, I would literally pay money for that.
Is OnlyFans the?
Just so you know.
I'll take your word for it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take your word for it.
Mm-hmm.
Is OnlyFans the next big thing, even though I still think it is anyway, when it comes to adult entertainment? And do we see with more and more, I don't want to put it in more of a COVID aspect, but I think it's going to start booming with more and more people being at home and needing obviously now to make more money. Could we see OnlyFans literally be a humongous $1 billion company if it hasn't already been that way?
Well, it's definitely already humongous. And I actually just had a meeting with OnlyFans yesterday because they are trying to not move away from sex stuff,
Right.
but they also want to include other things on their platform just for creators in general. So they want to start doing like getting podcasters on there and like
I'll be down.
stuff like that. So they reached out to me and I was like, ooh, okay. So like got your girl on OnlyFans. But my sister was like, why the fuck are you having a meeting with OnlyFans? I'm like, chill. I'm not showing my titties. But I'm going to make a different profile though. And I think I'm going to do feet because guys say that I have cute feet. So I'm going to do that. But anyway, the question was, it is huge and they are making moves into other departments.
Right.
So I think it will get bigger, but I truly just don't see like tube sites going away. Like Pornhub has millions of quadrillions of videos and they're all free.
Yep.
And I understand people paying for porn. And I think more people should pay for porn because it's like more ethical and all this stuff. But people are cheap. I'm cheap. I go on Pornhub because I don't have, if I had the money, would I pay for it? Yes. But I'm unemployed. So I'm going to go on Pornhub. And I just don't see Pornhub going away.
No.
Or other tube sites because it's free. Like people love free shit. But OnlyFans is for people that have, I think, more specific wants in terms of like fetishes or kinks that they want to see. Like they can request that from their favorite person that they watch, you know?
I see that.
I mean, don't quote me though. I'm not like a researcher, but
I'm definitely not, no.
That's just my thought.
I will ask you from a woman's standpoint, because I find that very odd and kind of weird. Why are feet the biggest thing that guys look? I'm just trying to figure out why. Like, what am I missing?
Don't ask me. Ask
I'm just
your
trying to
male
figure out.
counterparts. I don't know. I literally don't. I do not know. But I literally went out to dinner with this guy, and he was obsessed with my feet. Like, grabbed them under the table, took my shoe off, was like touching them, and I was like, "This is crazy." And guys love feet. I don't know. And then some guys like don't even want like the cute, clean, nicely pedicured feet. Like some guys want you to have disgusting, nasty ass feet. Some guys like, I had this girl on my podcast. If you guys know who Miss Mothership is, she also goes by like Rebecca Blue. And she fucking sells her toenails. Like she clips them, puts them in a bag and ships them off and people pay for that shit. So I don't know, but I'm going to capitalize on that. You know what I mean? You don't need to know the why, Mike.
I don't. I mean, I just don't. I'm not getting the why. I guess.
I don't know. Ask
may
Google.
just have to tweet
That's a
it
Google
out.
thing. That's a Google thing. I don't know.
I still don't. Even Google is going to mess that up.
Okay, keep going, but I'm going to look. I'm going to see.
When you've dated guys or got to know guys or whatever the case may have been, did they approach with any weird fetishes to you that you thought was kind of out there or just?
I'm very like, I don't kink shame usually because I just don't think that that's like a nice thing to do because I don't know. Like I'm very like sexually open-minded. So I try not to say that anything is weird. I've had a guy ask me to like for him to be my human toilet, like give him my poop and pee. And I was like, absolutely not. No. So like that is listen,
That's
I
weird.
don't wanna like rain on anybody's parade, but nothing about poop gets me going. Like truly. And I love talking about poop, but like having it around me, like other people's, absolutely not. Okay, there's a whole 21 possible reasons why guys like feet. So I'll email this to you and you can have a nice look.
Yeah, I was gonna say I see that right here.
You can read it.
21 reasons why. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna name a few real quick. No toenail polish.
Uh-huh.
The visual view. Safe sex alternative. That's a first. The shape of a foot. Supposedly childhood experiences. I don't know what the hell that has to do with anything. The dominance theory, covered up theory, uncovered theory, submissive theory. The feet disgust them. For some reason, that still turns them on. They love the way it smells. That's just really bizarre. Ladies have soft feet, extensions of legs. Other fetishes, feet can tell a person's hygiene, and then apparently the last one is no reason. I think I missed a few, but there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I think the childhood thing, I don't think every kink has to do with something that happened in your childhood. However, I do think there is potential links for it. Like, I was listening to some podcast and this girl like had a guy like spit on her when she was like in elementary school, and so now she like loves when guys spit on her and she thinks they're connected.
Nice.
And like also like there's just like some really bizarre things where you're like, how would you know that you like that if it didn't happen to you before? You know, like people that want to be human carpets.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know? How do you know that you like that if it didn't
Exactly.
happen to you already?
Exactly.
So I think that there is some truth to the childhood theory.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
They did get the safe sex part though, the safe sex one. That is true. It's safe sex, which I don't know where.
What? Like you can't get pregnant from feet?
Apparently so.
Okay.
It's an alternative. So,
Listen.
any guys out there that's listening and you want a safe sex alternative, there you go. It's
no,
feet.
us women are going to do that because abortions aren't legal anymore. Every girl is like, no more sex. It's over for you. So you can have my feet. There you go.
I could see that. Pregnancy down 92% due to feet.
Yeah.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
What you will see is a lot of the condom sales will go through the roof. So Trojan.
And are you saying invest in condoms?
Yes.
Okay.
So Trojan, if you're listening,
sponsor me,
please. Just a little bit. Just a name brand. Anything else? Final questions for you on these kind of interesting ones.
I'm fucking ready.
Kelly is saying that she enjoys your show. It's the first time she's ever heard of your podcast.
Kelly,
so there you go.
Love you.
So,
thank you. You should give it to all your friends. Steal their phones and give it 5 stars.
She'll pay you. No. She is saying that just dumped my boyfriend.
Good.
6 years.
As you should.
She listened in the comment or the order. Number 1, she dumped her boyfriend of 6 years. Number 2, he continues to email, text, social media message me. However, he can get a hold of me, but I continue to put on a read. Number 3, should I at least make contact with him, even though he dumped me, even though he cheated on me and dumped me twice, and then we got back together for a third time, and he did the same thing.
Murder. Sorry.
And then and then the last one is when it comes to expectations and realistic ones, what should be my top 3 when it comes to guys, and what should I be looking for, knowing that the catfish could be involved, and not so much a fake photo, but just what should be my red flags. Thanks and good luck the rest of your journey. Hope all goes well.
Okay, love you. Number 1, go listen to my episode called The Breakup Bible. It was probably like in the first 20 episodes, I want to say. It's great. So go listen to that. I think you should get a restraining order because
Yep.
I think somebody that doesn't get the hint that you're obviously ignoring them and you don't want to speak to them and they're contacting you in all these crazy ways, number one, and number two, the fact that he's cheated on you multiple times, he's probably has some sort of disorder. I'm not even kidding. I think he's probably a narcissist of some sort. So you don't even want to fucking talk to this guy anyway. Get a restraining order on him or continue to ignore him and hope that he just dies down. I would not reach out to him because I am scared that he will have a good way to lure you back in and you might fall for it. So we don't want to do that. And then what was the question?
Expectations. What should be realistic ones when it comes to guys? Because what she's afraid of. Long story short, what she's afraid of is being not so much catfish, but being played again. So apparently, this guy must have been a player before they started dating.
Okay, number one, I think you need to take time to heal before you even look for another person, because you're gonna be so on the defense when you're trying to date right now because you just got cheated on a shit ton of times and like that fucks you up. So let's heal that. Maybe try some therapy and talk about that. And then once like you feel good, you can start trying to casually date. But I would not try to dive into another relationship until like you are actually ready. Like don't try and rebound this. Like this is something that you actually need to heal from. And in terms of expectations from guys, like I said earlier, try your best not to have any because as you can see, they ain't shit. So, and it's the sad truth. And I'm hoping that one day, me and you, Kelly, we will find someone that will raise our expectations so high. Like we'll be so surprised, you know? And to be quite honest with you, I think a big red flag that I've been trying to pay attention to is if and when you start talking to a new guy and you know somehow the conversation is always going back to something sexual or you guys having sex. I understand like flirty and like once in a while, you know, like something a little sexual I get that. But if somehow you're talking about what you had for lunch and he's like, oh, I really want to eat you out, like you know what I mean? Right. If it always turns back to something sexual, he probably just wants to hump and dump you. And like, I'm trying to avoid that as well. So that would be like my number one red flag for you, just to pay attention to. And, you know, I think a lot of guys, they kind of just want to talk about themselves. So finding a guy that lets you speak, that's cool. But also finding a guy that like is actually interested in getting to know you and who you are. And it's like very, I don't want to say very deep because you need to like obviously meet them and stuff. But it's not just like, wow, you're so hot. Do you have any pets? You know, like if it gets like if it gets deeper than that, like I think that's a good sign. But I think the number one thing that I've been also paying attention to is if it's coming back to sex all the time, he's probably not the one.
I like that one. And shout out to the Blue Collar Enlightenment Show. Unfortunately, I cannot accept your request tonight for Twitter space, but next week we can do it. But shout out to them. Let's see here. Stacy. Miss Stacy. Here we go. All right. Good deal. All right, back to it. Okay, here we go. Okay. So, first time listener to both podcasts. Hope you guys have the best of luck moving forward. Cool, thank you.
Thanks, girl.
When it comes, alrighty, this is gonna be interesting. When it comes to a relationship, I've met a guy online. He lives in another state than I am. I am currently in Wichita, Kansas. I'm like, what's Wichita? Wichita, Kansas. I apologize, Wichita. And he lives in Chicago, Illinois. However, I come across two red flags. From a woman's standpoint, he does not talk to me at night. And number two, he only texts but
Mm.
yet he'll call once when he feels like it's more convenient, quote unquote, in parentheses, more convenient for him. I really love this guy, but at the same time, I'm kind
You
of
love
starting to
him,
want. That's what she says. That she
bitch.
loves the guy, but apparently she's starting to get bad feelings and bad vibes about this guy. Why won't he ever talk to me on the phone? And I feel like the only time we did talk on the phone, he was rushed. Here,
This
Kelly,
bitch
I'm
is
not an
getting
expert on
catfished.
this. Exactly. Run.
Girl, go
Run.
watch Catfish on MTV. You're saying all the fucking red
Yep.
flags that we
Run.
see. Okay, he doesn't want to talk to you on the phone. It could be a fucking woman. And like,
Run.
I don't know if you like girls, but like just that throwing that out there. It could be a woman. That's probably why he doesn't want to talk to you on the phone. He could have a secret girlfriend and he's like, oh shit, I gotta call this girl real quick while my actual
Mm-hmm.
girlfriend's in the bathroom. And then that's why he's so rushed because he's like, okay, I have to go bye because she's done peeing, you know? Also, why are we putting up with this if he doesn't even fucking live in the same state
Exactly.
as you? Mm-mm. He's done. We're canceled. Break up with him. Also, I hope to God that you're not in love with him and you've never met him. You need to pressure a FaceTime or a Zoom call or something. And if he says no, you need to dump. Ghost, restraining order.
What's that song that's
My
on TikTok?
restraining order is block. Block is probably better. You don't need a restraining order for this guy.
Yeah, just straight up run. We need that theme
Block
song.
him.
Run.
Block.
And then the last one, I think this one's, and I'm not trying to pick and choose, but I'm trying to pick the one that's more interesting. No disrespect to the rest of them.
Okay, come on. I'm ready.
This one's gonna be quite the scene. Alrighty, so we're gonna set the tone for you, Sean. We're gonna say that this.
Set the tone.
We're gonna set the tone here. Um, Currently going on 12 years of marriage.
Mm-hmm.
They have 6 kids together.
Woof.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's a 17-year difference between those two.
Love.
And at the end of the day, she feels like their marriage is dying down. She's
Woof.
trying to revive it, put the gas, reset the gas, and reflame it, but she feels like she's not getting the other end of it. She does not want to break up with them because they've been together for so long. But at the end of the day, I don't want to waste my time with them, and vice versa. My kids, 3 of them are older and out of the house, but the other 3 are really young, and I do not want to put them through this. What's the best advice from a woman's standpoint should I do about this?
Okay. Woof. Number one, I feel like you're asking the wrong girl because I'm 24 and I'm not married and I don't have kids. However, if I had to give advice for this, I would say you could try couples therapy because sometimes it's good to have like a mediator, like communicate between the two parties because sometimes when you're trying to tell your partner something, they're like not hearing you or not understanding you properly. So you could try that. If you already like have tried that, I would say I think breaking up is an option if you've tried to make it work and it's not working. Like, what else do you want? And I think I totally understand you being worried for the kids, but I think it's better for kids to be in a home where they know like the two parents love each other than not. So like if you think about it in that sense, like having divorced parents, but the two different like dad's house and mom's house, like everybody's happy, is better than being in one miserable house together.
I like that.
So you should probably ask somebody who's married and has kids, but that would be my advice from someone who is younger and doesn't have children or marriage. Mm-hmm.
You know fuzzy costumes, don't you?
I know,
Have you ever
like
heard?
fuzzy kinks.
Yeah, those things.
Uh-huh.
Alrighty, someone's getting quiet out there. So so this one's from the last 2 from non-followers, so that's cool. This
Follow
one,
him,
this
rude
one,
ass.
I'm about to. I will later. Just give us time.
Okay, come on.
This
I'm
one
pumped.
is Well, this one's gonna be fun. I'm gonna try not to laugh on this one.
Okay.
Me and my boyfriend, gay couple here. My boyfriend and
Well.
I have been together for the last 6 years.
Mhm.
However, the last 3 months he's been big into this fuzzy costume. I
Oh.
find it very weird and odd. His is, I guess, a dog. I guess it's a dog one. I don't know. His is a dog costume, quote unquote costume.
Hmm.
He wants to have kink.
Don't laugh.
He wants.
You're kink shaming.
No, I'm not. I'm just laughing.
Just read it.
He's anyway. Long story short, they're wanting to have sexual activity with the costume on, with the one on and the other not. How should I go about this when I find this very odd?
That's a good question because I've never engaged in like fuzzy costume sex.
Mm-mm.
So like if you're asking about the logistics, I don't really have the answer for you. Like I would say probably watch porn and like see how that goes. Number one. Number two, I would say join like kink and fuzzy kink Facebook groups where you could have like you could post or even post anonymously in them and like ask this question to people who actually are into fuzzies or are partnered with someone who's a fuzzy, and you probably get a better answer there. But I would say if you're not comfortable, don't do it. But also if you're willing to do it, to try it for your partner, I think you should do it. And if it's something that you like totally can't handle, but your partner like really wants to explore this part of them and you're like open to them exploring it, just not with you, I would say maybe he should seek out like a kink sex party and he can go and just explore that side of him, or you could go with him and like see what's up. But that's all the advice I have for you because I do not have a lot of experience in fuzzies. Sorry.
I've had fuzzy tacos.
Well, why are they moldy?
Nah. There's a restaurant here in Oklahoma City. It's called Fuzzy Tacos.
Oh. Sounds like mold.
It could be. You never know.
Probably.
You could be. Two more. These I'm gonna pick the really entertaining ones. This one's for both of us. Another non-follower with the animal face to his profile pic. So cool. Okay. Thank you, dinosaur looking thing.
Thank you, Dino.
Both. I'm pretty sure this is a spam one. Question to you both. Yeah, because this makes no sense. Question to you both, and here's how the word is. You two can get back to a podcast, but what are your favorite things to do besides a podcast? And will you ever want to interview a famous person? If so, who? Thank you. Best of luck.
Okay. Do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
Please, first go ahead.
Okay. So what were the questions? Things I like to do besides podcasting. So
apparently, besides a podcast, I guess what's your favorite things to do?
I like to watch reality shows and play with my bunny. And whenever I say that, people think I'm talking about my vagina. I actually have a pet rabbit. So just want to clear that up.
Pervs, get that in.
Yeah. And then I also like to bake and cook, and I like to go out to eat with friends. What about you?
Honestly, obviously the last few months was taking care. Now my dad's health is pretty bad, so I try to help out as much as possible. But if it's not that, it's going to be. I'm always prepping for podcasts, but Call of Duty, Xbox, yard work because it never ends. I swear to God, and really just watch Netflix.
Cool. Okay, what's the next question? In his thing.
Who do you guys, if so famous? Who would we want to interview that was famous?
Well, to keep it on brand with my show, it would be Emily Morse or Dr. Ruth. They're both like sex people. Those would be mine.
I don't know. If I had if I had to pick a dinosaur looking guy Probably the commissioner of the NFL, just to let him know he sucks at his job. I don't know. I would probably just say him, just because I think it's pretty cool he gets booed at, um, and he still laughs at him. So I just want to guess them. I don't really know. No, jokes aside, famous person. I don't know.
Probably some athlete.
Tim Tebow, just because I want to know, like, people make fun of you. Have you, like, did you cry behind closed doors or something? I don't.
I'm sure he does.
I'm sure. I don't know. Last one, because this one is really entertaining and kind of cool. Um, never done a podcast, let alone hear from one. It's kind of cool, but kind of weird. Why don't you guys play music? Okay, dude. Um,
I have intro, outro music.
I got an intro. I'm working on my outro, dude. Okay, pretty much is just so okay. What's your question? Because all you're doing is just bitching. Okay, here we go. When it comes to dating,
Uh-huh.
why would people be so? Why would you put yourself through torment just to break up a few days later, or even weeks or months or years? Feels like to me it's a waste of time. This sucks.
I hear you. Because if you've ever been in love, you can never reciprocate that feeling like with anything else. And so people chase it. And so people think that that feeling is worth the potential heartbreak and suck.
I mean, I see what you're saying. Well, first of all, I have an intro music, so you can listen to that. Outro's on the works. And why we don't play music during it, I think it kind of throw the whole thing off. We were a radio station. Um, Honestly, I mean, I see. I guess you would point. I mean, I guess you would say. I guess you would say, why would you waste your time? I mean, I get you. You know, you're trying to break your, not trying to break your heart, but I think you gotta, unfortunately, grow from it. You gotta put yourself out there and hope for the best. I don't know, dude. I mean, if that's what you're going through,
You're one heartbreak closer to meeting the love of your life.
and you can meet him on Tinder, you never know.
I can't, but
Well,
maybe
no,
you
you.
can.
See, I can't on Facebook. I've been banned. So
Okay.
Twitter's my next one. So, but I guess because of who's that guy that bought it?
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. I guess I'm safe for now. But if he can only reverse my throat punch on Facebook, I'd be gladly to accept it. So, no. Jokes aside, it's cool. Thank you for all for the questions. For the ones that we didn't get to, those are cool questions.
You
thank
can
you.
send them to me if you want, and I will hopefully be able to give you some advice.
And Dino Man, that was pretty cool. Just cool. Before before we wrapped up the show, first things first. Obviously, a pleasure, Shawn, coming on, and
Of course.
courtesy of the ending. 3 random questions. You can answer them truthfully. You can just make up questions because at the end of the day, they're random, and that's all we got. Presented by presented by Storm Check in Oklahoma City. If you already have a storm shelter, definitely hit them up, stormcheck.team, and they will hit you up. Make sure your storm shelter is cleaned and ready to go for the storm season, even though it's 102 degrees outside. But nonetheless, let them know Mike from the Air Raid Tech sent them your way. He'll hook you up. So let's go at it. Random question number 1. What is your dream goal or goal? What is your dream job growing up? What was your dream job?
I wanted to be a chef.
Nice. Contrary to
Yeah.
that, what's your favorite food to cook?
To cook or to eat?
Both.
Okay, to eat is fajitas. To cook is I like to cook meat sauce. I know that's so random. I love meat sauce though. Anyway, next question.
And nothing wrong with that. Real quick, no, nothing wrong with that. So I like it. I like to grill a lot. Number two, number two, um, number two. My screen fell out. Oh, there we go. Number 2. If you could live anywhere in the United States, where would you live?
California.
And last but not least, last but not least, how many episodes? How long will you be doing the podcast for? And if so, how many episodes do you plan on recording?
Um, I'm hoping to get back into it again soon. So hopefully, like when I start again, I will do it forever and ever and ever. So limit does not exist for amount of episodes.
Nope.
But I feel like getting to 100 would be like a cool benchmark. But yeah,
You'll get there. You got
thanks.
it. You got it.
Thanks.
Just be like me and do a better job planning your 100th episode, and don't be like me and realize that you miscounted and your spectacular episode of 100 was actually going to be now 200 because I miscounted. So
It's okay.
anyway, yeah, I'll be right. My education came from Oklahoma. That's why we're one of the worst. So hey, we got to learn one way or another. So, Shawn, it's been a pleasure having you on. And where can they find you at on all of your social media platforms?
Okay, so Instagram is at the Tough Titties Podcast. And then if you want my personal Instagram, it's your girl Shawn, SHAWN. Twitter is at Tough Titties Pod. Again, if you want to email me those questions or DM me those questions that we didn't get to today, and you're just dying for my advice, you can definitely DM me there. And then my TikTok is at Shawn_Jacobson, where I try to give sex advice and dating advice on there without getting banned. Also, I have a virtual dating event on July 13th at 7 p.m. Eastern. If you guys are interested in that, feel free to DM me and I'll give you the link to sign up for it. It's free.
There you have it.
There you have it.
All the info, of course, all of her social media, at least the ones I know of, will be in the description below. If you're on YouTube watching it or any other podcast platform, all the description below. Any plans for the 4th before I let you go?
No, I'm wearing black and mourning my freedom. I actually fucking hate the 4th of July and I hate fireworks. They're too loud. So I'll be sitting in my house. Anything for you? Yeah. I'm watching Handmaid's Tale. It's not funny. It's not funny. What are you doing?
Besides hopefully not coughing anymore. Grilling. I'll be grilling. My parents will be coming over, so we're gonna be grilling. And
I love a good barbecue.
The fireworks are just literally down the street from where I'm at. The Air Force Base is there, so any of you stalkers, you should know where, at least area wise, I should be at now. So I am listening in Saudi Arabia, so you never know.
You never know. They could come visit.
Just don't come to my house, please. I will. I don't welcome unwelcome guests. But anyway, Shawn, it's been fun having you on. And
thanks, Mike.
And best of luck, and have a wonderful 4th. I know, even though you'll be in mourning because your freedom has been taken away from you, and fireworks will be played on the 4th. So
with my earplugs. Thank you so much. I hope you have a better time than me.
I'll try my best. No promises, but I'll talk to you soon. Ladies and gentlemen, the host of the Tough Titties Podcast, Shawn, on us with us today. And, of course, listen to her on all major podcast platforms, specifically Apple and Spotify, because those are the two I was listening to earlier. Air Raid Attack Podcast, you can listen to all major podcast platforms. Have a wonderful 4th if you're listening in the United States. And if you're across the world, take care. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you guys soon.
Bye.